Imagine you're given two identical lives, the same intelligence, the same opportunities, the same dreams. 10 years later, one version of you has built a meaningful life. The other has spent a decade blaming the world. What changed? It wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It wasn't money. It was an invisible enemy. An enemy so clever, it convinced the loser.
Stay until the end, because the final story might completely change the way you look at yourself. And it begins with a simple mirror that tells the truth no one wants to hear. Before we begin, like this video, subscribe for more life-changing stories, and tell me in the comments, what is one habit you know is holding you back? Don't overthink it. Just write the first thing that comes to your mind.
Every morning, Nathan looked into the mirror, but he never really saw himself. He saw his excuses. He saw the people who didn't support him. He saw opportunities he deserved. He saw dreams that would happen someday. Then one day,
Every morning, Nathan looked into the mirror, but he never really saw himself. He saw his excuses. He saw the people who didn't support him. He saw opportunities he deserved. He saw dreams that would happen someday. Then one day, his grandfather gave him an old mirror. Not because it was valuable, but because it carried a note on the back.
It read, "This mirror never lies. Most people do." Nathan laughed. A mirror can't tell the truth. His grandfather smiled. It reflects more than your face. What do you think he meant? Hold that thought, because the answer changed Nathan's life forever.
Part 2. The First Crack. Nathan believed he was destined for greatness. There was only one problem. His daily routine looked nothing like someone chasing greatness. He talked about books, but rarely finished one. He dreamed about success, but avoided difficult work. He wanted respect without earning it. One evening, his grandfather asked him a strange question. If someone secretly recorded your life for the last 30 days, would they believe your actions or your words? Silence. Nathan couldn't answer. Can you? Imagine someone watching your last week. Would they discover your priorities?
Part 3. The Mountain That Didn't Care. A few weeks later, Nathan joined a hiking expedition. Halfway up the mountain, he complained. "This trail is unfair. The weather is terrible. My backpack is too heavy." An old climber walking beside him quietly smiled. The mountain doesn't care. Nathan frowned. What? The mountain doesn't care how talented you are. It doesn't care how confident you sound. It doesn't care how many followers you have. It only responds to preparation. That sentence stayed with Nathan long after the hike ended. Because life is exactly the same. Reality doesn't reward appearances. It rewards preparation.
Part 4. The Room Full of Applause. Months later, Nathan finally achieved something impressive. People congratulated him. Friends admired him. Social media celebrated him. For the first time, he felt important. Then, something unexpected happened.
The louder something is, the easier it breaks. What are you filling yourself with? Noise or substance?
Part 5. The hardest word. A few days later, Nathan made a costly mistake at work. His first instinct? Blame someone else. His second instinct? Defend himself.
Then he remembered the mirror. He took a deep breath, walked to his manager, and said 3 words. I was wrong. Something surprising happened. Instead of losing respect, he gained it. Because admitting mistakes doesn't make you smaller, it makes you trustworthy. Here's a challenge. Think about the last disagreement you had. Were you trying to understand or simply trying to win? Be honest with yourself.
Part 6. The Gardener's Secret. One spring morning, Nathan met an old gardener. The man spent hours removing weeds. Nathan asked, "Why don't you just water the flowers?" The gardener smiled. "Because weeds grow automatically. Flowers don't." The same is true for your character. Pride grows naturally. Patience must be cultivated. Excuses grow naturally. Discipline must be practiced. Arrogance grows naturally. Humility must be chosen. Again and again and again.
Part 7. The invisible scoreboard. Nathan eventually stopped comparing himself to others. Instead, he kept a notebook. Each evening, he asked himself 3 questions. Did I learn something today? Did I keep my promises today?
Did I become slightly better than yesterday? At first, the changes were invisible. Then weeks became months. Months became years. One day, people called him an overnight success. He smiled because he knew there had been nothing overnight about it, only thousands of invisible decisions.
Interesting fact. Researchers who study expertise consistently find that long-term improvement depends less on natural talent than on deliberate practice, feedback, and the willingness to keep learning. The people who grow the most are often those who stay curious instead of assuming they've already mastered everything. Isn't that interesting? The greatest advantage isn't knowing more. It's believing there's always more to learn.
Years later, Nathan visited his grandfather one last time. The old mirror still hung on the wall. Only this time, Nathan saw something different. Not a perfect man, not a famous man, just a man who had finally stopped pretending. His grandfather smiled. "What do you see now?" Nathan answered quietly. "I used to think life was about proving I was enough. Now I realize it's about becoming better than I was yesterday." The old man nodded. Then the mirror has finally done its job.
The greatest enemy you'll ever face may never shout. It won't wear a mask. It won't announce its arrival. It appears every time you refuse to learn. Every time you protect your pride instead of pursuing the truth.
every time you choose comfort over growth. But here's the beautiful part. The same person who can hold you back can also set you free. It starts with one honest conversation.
The one you have with yourself.
If this story made you think differently, don't let the lesson end here. Like this video. Subscribe for more original stories about psychology, discipline, and personal growth. And before you go, answer one final question in the comments. If your future self could give you one piece of advice today, what do you think it would be? Read the comments carefully. Someone else's answer might become the lesson you needed most. Until next time, remember, your greatest victory isn't over other people. It's over the version of yourself that refuses to grow.